I'm drinking kombucha today and it's very refreshing. I'm also drinking it out of my skull cup, which I think is exponentially more cool. Hello my friends, and welcome to this tarot lesson. If you are wondering why the angle change, I just really wanted to show you the wallpapering that I did. I think it's really pretty. If you're wondering about my headphones and general vibe, I've been in sensory hell for the past couple of days. I've been incredibly overstimulated and it has not been fun. So you're just gonna have to put up with me. So this lesson was inspired by my previous lesson, where I was talking about yes-no readings. And I wanted to expand on the type of short form styles of readings that you can do in your tarot practice and that you can use to help you in your day-to-day life. What do I mean by short though? Well, a basic card reading is generally 3 cards, though it could be upwards of 8 cards if you did something like a Celtic cross spread. And that kind of means that you're bound to reading 3 cards every time, and having to actively interpret those cards. And sometimes when we ask questions of tarot, it just doesn't feel like we can justify the amount of cards we're pulling, you know? While a lot of people would say that that doesn't mean you need to do a reading, and that you're probably better off just using your own discernment, I would argue that you might actually just need to do something a little bit smaller. Something more doable. And thus, I present to you short form readings for the quicker and slightly smaller question. A preface to this video before I actually teach you how to do the short form readings. These are not substitutions for bigger readings. And I do recommend that on the whole that you do bigger readings for bigger questions. And to generally do bigger readings for yourself if you want to get the most out of your tarot practice. These styles of short form readings are pretty much exclusively for just giving you a general sense of direction and to help you connect with your deck a little bit more, which in turn will help you get more accurate readings. So with that out of the way, let's talk about our first one, yes or no readings. So yeah, the first style that I am going to mention is the yes or no reading, the one that I covered in my last lesson. So I'm not exactly going to go into detail here, you can just go and watch the last lesson that I did, okay? In short, you ask a simple question and you pull one card and that card will be your yes or no answer. I made cheat sheets for fixed yes, no, or maybe answers for the whole of the major and the minor arcana that you can use in your own tarot readings if you want a fixed set of answers for these types of readings. And you can purchase these off of my Patreon shop, or you get them for free if you're a member. The benefit of this type of short form reading is that you can kind of just do it and then get on with your day, but it does run into the problem of not really explaining why the answer is what it is. You can avoid this confusion by taking the card's meaning into consideration when you get your yes or no answer, but as always, this is at your own discretion. So this style of reading is going to be good for yes or no answers, obviously, and taking the choice out of the situation when it's kind of hard to make a choice. Okay, I'm going to move on. Now let's talk about cutting the deck. This is a new thing, but not really. I want to talk about this reading style that we see a lot on places like TikTok and Instagram, and one that, both as a content creator and as a tarot reader, I actually really enjoy. I've actually mentioned this on TikTok myself at some point, but it was a long time ago now and I don't actually know what TikTok it was exactly. For this reading, you won't actually be pulling any cards to reveal your answer, and instead you're going to be cutting the deck as you would in any given card game. And this means that realistically you only need your deck and your hands to shuffle. Like, realistically you don't even need to put the deck down if you don't want to. You still set up the reading the same way, so by prepping your question. This question is going to be tied to a signifier card in this case though. And this card can be entirely of your choosing. What card do you choose? Well, that's going to be relevant to your question, but I'll get to that in a second. Let me show you how to actually do the reading first. So for this style of reading, you shuffle your deck, with question in mind, and when you have finished shuffling, generally this will be at a natural stopping point, but I recommend nothing over like 15 seconds if you're looking for like a fixed time frame to shuffle in. You're going to find your signifier card within the deck. Once you've found the signifier card, you'll then look at the card in front of that signifier and behind that signifier. These 2 cards are your answer cards. The card in front is generally what's blocking you from proceeding to the goal, and the one behind is what you should be focusing on in order to overcome that blockage. Now, what do you do this reading for exactly? Well, this is actually the format that I taught in the first tutorial I ever made for this page. The blockage reading, which OGs will remember. And honestly, I still stand by that interpretation. When you are feeling stuck and that there are like too many obstacles in your path, this is a great format to use. But the focus of the reading can be shifted depending on what signifier card you use, really. Worried about your love life? Use the Lovers or the Two of Cups as your signifier. Then ask the cards what you need to get your love life back on track. Want to get a promotion at work? Then try using something like the 3 or the 8 of Pentacles. Ask what kind of traits you need to show your boss to get that new job. In that case, the card in front and behind would represent the best course of action. This type of reading has a lot of versatility to it, so it's worth trying and testing different styles, signifiers, ideas of what the front and the back card would mean. See what works for you. Okay, last one. As the final reading of this video, I'm going to suggest a variation on the card cutting that I just mentioned. But this one comes with the benefit of somehow being even simpler. This is technically closer to a regular 3-card reading than anything else. But again, this reading is only going to require your deck and your hands to shuffle. When you have your question in mind, you're going to shuffle the deck. Again, this is going to be a short form reading, so try to keep the question simple. And when you've reached a natural stopping point, you're going to look at the very top card of the deck and the very bottom card of the deck. The top card represents your current state, where you are currently. And the bottom card represents the end state or the outcome of the situation that you've asked about. You're then going to cut the deck in the middle and take out the middle card. It doesn't matter if it's actually the middle card, just ballpark it, it's fine. This is entirely an approximation, it doesn't have to be perfect. The middle card is going to represent the event or action that happens in between to lead to the end event. So the top card is where you are now, the middle card is what you have to do to get to the end card, which is the final result. Now, what is this kind of reading for? I actually like to use this reading as a kind of personal check-in for when I need to be clear on what my current trajectory is. Remember that tarot reading is functionally just reading the flow of energy, and we can use the physical structure of a deck much in the same way that we create a structure for ourselves when we pull out a spread. So, you could ask the cards about where you're at spiritually, where your relationship with someone or something is at, anything like this. And this reading would give you the current state of the situation, the next event or action to occur, and what that would result in, the next stage or evolution of that situation or relationship. This is also quite beneficial because you can maintain your personal signifiers with this type of reading, like the ones you use in your larger readings, if you are the type of person to use signifier cards in your readings. It just means it will end up being contextual to the question. I genuinely enjoy doing this type of reading, so try it out and tell me how you fare. Okay, final thoughts. Short video for the short form content. I didn't necessarily mean for this video to be so short and so simple. This is just kind of what I felt like doing, and to be honest, my ADHD isn't letting me do much else at the moment. It's kind of hard to do anything that I don't 100% want to do right now, so I am showing myself some grace. This might end up being the status quo for a little while I'm trying to regulate myself. I hope that you do give some of these reading styles a try, because I like sharing things with you guys, and I kind of hope that I can give you the tools to be able to improve and elevate your tarot reading experience. In any case, I hope to see you again soon, but until then, stay blessed, my friend.